Have you ever wondered, is this a good time to buy real estate? And will those investments be worth more in 10 years than they are now? And in this video, we're going to talk about 3 compelling reasons why rents will be higher in 10 years, and I think you'll find it very interesting. So the reason people ask this question is they just want to know, like, hey, I'm putting money into this deal, I'm putting money into things. Like, is this going to turn out well? Or is it something that's just going to be, I could have put it here instead, I'm going to have a regret that, man, I wish I'd really put it over here. So we're going to talk about investing. Just first of all, does something keep its value? And secondly, is it going to grow over time? And so I'm going to talk about why I think multifamily is going to do substantially well over the next 10 years and why the reasons for that. So multifamily in general, it's a lot different than single family. So single family houses, there's a lot of speculation. Things will go up, they'll go down. Typically every 10 to 12 years, you'll have some big swing as far as prices. It really just depends on what people are willing to pay and a lot on the market cycle. Multifamily is very different. So it's really based, rather than the speculation, it's more based on the income of the property or the rents. So any way you can produce income, which most of it comes through the rents, determines how much that property is worth. So cap rates are basically how much the income produces versus the value of the property. So if you increase the income, you increase the value of the property. So it's like an equation. So rents rise, the property value goes up. Now, there are 3 reasons why I want to say why I think apartments will be worth a lot more in 10 years. The first one is demographic changes. There's a independent nonprofit called weareapartments.org. If you get a chance, you can go there, check it out. It says that basically we're going to need 4.6 million more apartment units by 2030. So at the time of this video, that's 10 years from now, we're going to need 4.6 million more apartments. That's substantial. So, and why is this? Why are demographics actually shifting? Well, the reason why is because people are moving. Even during COVID, people are moving. They're moving out of places like Los Angeles, the Bay Area of California. They're moving out of New York City. They're going to places like Atlanta, Salt Lake, and Denver. And these shifts are happening. And a lot of people also are moving from more rural or suburban areas back into the city. And a lot of people are finding themselves in apartments. And there's growth, there's this incredible demographic growth happening with apartments. So that's the first thing, is demographic shifts are happening, and you can research that and look at that at We Are Apartments. The second thing really that's important to look at is the Fed's money printing. So the Federal Reserve is printing a lot of money. They've actually, if you look back since 2008, they've have 2.5 times the amount of currency in circulation than they did then. And at the time of this video, it's only been 12 years. So there's just been this multiplication of currency coming out. And that basically comes from deficit spending by the government because of COVID, because of different, to support the economy. And it's really on both political sides. And we really, as far as fiscal, again, this is not a political conversation, but we just have both Democrat, Republican, right and left. There's just money being thrown at every problem. And there's not a lot of fiscal responsibility. I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong or whatnot, it's just that there's a lot of money being printed. So when that happens, typically the more money you have, the more it takes to buy the same amount of goods. Because, right, the amount of goods that are there doesn't necessarily change, but the amount of money that's printed is just more and more and more. So it takes more money to do that. That's why real assets such as multifamily or other types of real estate can be a great investment, because they typically rise with inflation. So inflation is just that process where things cost more, and then that really leads to the third thing, which is higher construction costs. So all of this is basically going to lead to higher construction costs. And the reason for that is if you have inflation and goods cost more and services cost more, anything you build is going to cost more. So if new construction costs more, what it does to existing inventory of apartments and multifamily, it causes those to cost more as well. So rents typically are a pretty good hedge against inflation, and that's why multifamily is a pretty good hedge against inflation. And so that's really a few things to look at. The demographic shifts, the Fed printing money, and higher construction costs. I think it's very compelling to see how owning real assets, such as multifamily real estate and income property, is going to be a great investment. The demand's going to be there. It's only going to grow. And so I encourage you to take a good look at it. Now there's an old saying that said basically the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago, but the second best time is today. So what I encourage you as you listen to this, don't just, let this be a video you watch. Take some action, get involved, try to find some place where you can deploy some capital to invest in multifamily apartments, because it's a very compelling investment. Appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, please smash the like button down below. I wanted to say we have a few resources for you. There's a report I wrote about investing during and after a pandemic, the single best approach. You can go to bronsonequity.com/report. Check that out. The other one is our investment club at bronsonequity.com. You can join our club, find out about our upcoming multifamily investment deals, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next video. Well, hey there, before you go, make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel so you can get new content as soon as it's available. Also, check out this report up here that I wrote about investing during and after a pandemic, comparing the stock market to real estate and other investments. And then down here, you can check out the next video.